Good morning, guys. Sound like Good Morning Vietnam. Hey, this is Cathy Iconis with QBOchat here today, ready to talk to you guys all about starting your QBO practice. So I'm hoping that we have some people join in live, and we shall see, right? Okay. I think I got everything going on all those different screens, all of that fun stuff. So, again, what I was talking about today is starting your QBO practice. I know. So here's the deal, guys. I have this training session that I am doing January, right? And it's Intro to QBO for bookkeepers. And really what it is, it's for someone that has accounting experience, but that's starting their practice using QuickBooks Online, right? I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Horrible. Anyways, so this Intro to QBO for Bookkeepers course that I'm taking, or that I'm providing, right? I still haven't found the best title for it to, like, I think attract the audience that that would be interested in it. I have people signing up for it, but I feel like there could be more. Like, I'm missing it, and the words just aren't all working out. It's, really about using QBO, like figuring out, okay, what services can we provide in QBO, and then how do we use that and become efficient in QBO and all that sort of stuff, like being able to work with it and whatever. Because people, if you're coming from desktop or another software program, you're just not comfortable with QBO. Accounting, bookkeeping, but it's just a matter of like, okay, give me the basics on how to get around in here and I can do the rest, sort of thing. So that kind of stemmed this morning's topic. So what I'm going to talk about, though, is not everything we're going to talk about in the session, because then why would you even want to sign up for the session, right? I'm giving it away right here. But I feel like we need to get back to basics, because I have a lot of people that are new to QBO, new to starting a practice within the Build Your Best QBO Practice Facebook group. And I wanted to kind of like, start from the beginning. So that's what I'm doing. Yay, right? I could tell you I started my practice 9.5 years ago. So right after my daughter was born, right after maternity leave, I started my practice. Started with $1,000. And I had an idea of what I was going to do, but just to let you know, everything changes constantly. Okay. And that's okay. The point is let's have some idea of where we're going to go, and then be open to new possibilities and new things that work for you when they come up, right? I had no idea I was ever going to be doing this stuff. No idea. I wanted to help small businesses, do virtual CFO work, all of that. It has been a long journey of a little bit of that, but a lot of other things. So it's okay that it doesn't happen the way you expect it to. And I want you to know that it won't. But you really have no action unless you have some sort of plan of what you're going to do. So let's do baby steps and plans, right? Okay. So the first part, we got to imagine what your practice is going to look like. Like I said, mine was going to be doing virtual CFO work, right? But really dig into that. What services are you going to provide? Because when you talk to leads, they're going to want to know, like, things that they understand that you're going to do. And then they also want to know what the end result is for them. Like, that's what they really care about, but you have to be clear as to how you're going to get there. And you really have to be clear with them, because the more wishy-washy you are, the less comfortable they are with what you are providing. And also the more likely they could step all over you. So do you want to have recurring monthly revenue, or do you want to do project revenue? Either is fine. You can mix them. You can do whatever you want. It's just a matter of like, where are we going? What do you what kind of stuff do you want to be doing? Oh, and definitely take notes, guys. because I'm not sharing this document that I'm reading off of right now. It's mine that I just came up with, and I'm not sharing it yet. It might be in the intro to bookkeeping class or intro to QBO for bookkeepers class, but it's not going out anywhere right now. But if you take notes, you'll get the information. Okay. Are there certain industries you want to specialize in? If you have experience in the past working in different industries, then, and you liked it, then look at that. Consider that as something you want to, start off in and grow a practice around. Again, it can change, but if you already know the industry, that puts you steps ahead of other people that are just jumping in to their own practices. So, and how are you going to price yourself or charge for your services? So there's one thing of like pricing, right? Of how am I going to come up for the price for stuff? Is it going to be, again, different ways we can do it, an hourly thing, a fixed fee, value pricing, mixture of everything, all of this stuff. Get a general idea, or again, what do you expect? What do you want to deal with, right? For me, I started out charging hourly. The problem I had was I do work quickly because I can utilize technology and everything, and not everyone has that education to be able to do that stuff. So really, so someone else is charging $50 an hour and it takes them 3 hours to do it. Me charging $150 an hour for 1 hour, it's the same thing, but clients don't get that relationship. They don't understand that difference. So really that's where I kind of went into fixed fee stuff. But then I had to estimate how much time is this going to take me? What am I going to, do I need to put any buffers and stuff? So there's a little bit more work on the front end. But I think there's less work on the back end of billing your client those hours, having to justify those hours, conversations about those hours, and worry about getting paid and all that sort of stuff. Because now I can do fixed fee stuff and I charge in advance. So I don't really have any accounts receivable. They're all paying me for the month that I'm about to do work. And then we move on to the next month. It's the way it is. So I don't have to worry about that, but I had to worry about it when I was creating the engagement. And I do have to worry about, am I still making a profit? Am I adding more services or more things just to make me feel better about what I'm doing for the client? Are they asking for more stuff? All of those things can change the engagement. And you have to be aware of that. You see a dog in the little white fluffy dog right there. Wait, Luna, what are you doing? Huh? Okay. And the other thing, how much money are you going to invest in starting out? Like I said, I started with $1,000 in the bank account, and I just kept on reinvesting that. Any money that I got in, I would add into it. But that was all I was committed to doing, was providing $1,000. And I've been going ever since. Now, that doesn't mean that I was paying myself a salary that I expected to get for 9 years. It was just a matter of, we weren't going to pull more money from our household for it. Now, yeah, so I didn't have my old income for a while, long while. So it was, we're still missing, what I had before, but I'm not taking that and then taking more out of the business or out of the house, right? So those are some things. Anyways. Oh, and guys, feel free to ask questions along the way. Whatever. You like my hat? It's fancy, huh? Luna. Out of the trash. Luna. Guys, can I pick up Luna for a second? Hey, baby. She's a big dog. Hi. Say hi. 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 Okay. She didn't like that. Okay, so now I'd have dog fur all over me. Back to starting a QBO practice. Okay, technology is the next thing. What are you guys going to do for email? Thanks, Rosanna. So email for me, I use Gmail. It is, I believe last time I checked, $50 a user a year. So, and you're able to, if you do Google, what is Gmail? Google Suite, Google for Business sort of thing. But you're able to brand it to your domain, whatever your website is. So, and guys, you don't necessarily have to have a website in that instance. You just have to have the domain itself. So I started out with iconisgroup.com. So my email address at iconisgroup.com is really all through Gmail, but I don't have that Gmail address going out. So I thought that was a good investment. It's cheap, $50 a year, right? You get a lot of the other stuff with it, like free storage with Google Drive, and yeah. Oh, you can get a Google Voice phone number too. So that was the next thing, your phone. What are you going to use for your phone? I had I'm sitting on like a bobbly chair. I had a work phone number for the longest time, and just like the 2 months ago, I cut it off because I really just use my cell phone now. And managing and splitting up the two is just not working for me anymore. My initial thought was, hey, I'm going to split. I don't want personal calls and personal stuff going to my phone. Well, that's great until someone tries to text you, which you can do on Google Voice text. Oh, she's got a squeaky toy. Here we go. I might have to throw it away in a second. Like throw it that way very far. Okay. But the phone, yes, that was my initial concept of keeping it separate. But in the end, it was more trouble than it's worth to keep it separate. And I wanted to simplify my life. In the end, I'd rather have clients text me. And if you're going to text me on my phone, that's fine. I don't have to pick up the phone when they're calling. I do work. I can't just always stop all the time when there's a phone call. So yeah, I had this extra expense of having a business line, and I'm like, I'm just going to get rid of that. So I did. Lisa, hello from New Mexico. Hi. Nice to have you with us. So, and remember guys, this will be saved later so you can watch this again if you missed any part of it. Okay. Website. You don't have to have a website. I prefer websites because I'm a website person. I used to develop websites in college. So I have fun with it. It's exciting for me. I love websites, so I make my own. Okay. But I'm not saying you have to. Let's just look at some of the other things I'm going to talk about. It's a good place to be. It's a good thing to have as a website. But I know it's not necessarily when you're starting a practice. And if you're on limited funds, maybe that's not something you want to invest in yet. Especially if you don't know how to do it yourself, maybe you need to wait so that you can raise enough money so that you can pay for a website or something like that. Okay. Accounting. What are you going to do to handle all of your accounting? I believe still the Pro Advisor program will provide you with a free QBO account for your firm. So I'm shaking the table. So I would recommend that. It's free and it gets you used to using QBO. And, knowing about invoicing, how to get paid, all of that sort of stuff. And that makes it easier to communicate with your clients because you've gone through it yourself, right? So it's not just a demo, you're actually doing it. Okay, let's move on to marketing. So who is your ideal client? That's the hardest question I think most people have to answer. And here's the thing, I keep on trying to tell you guys, you don't have to be right. You can just come up with what you think right now is your ideal customer and use as many characteristics as possible. Are they generally, what age are they? Generally, are they located near you, far away? What industry are they in? Where are they within the business? Are they business owner? Are they in charge of accounting? Are they CFO and you want to help under them? There's a million different things, right? Do they use social media? Do they have kids? Are they gamers? I don't know. I mean, figure out like in your mind what they are. And I feel like the more that you can relate to them, the better that is as an ideal client, because you're going to have more fun with working with them and you're going to be able to relate to them. It's going to be an easier sales process for you because you're more likely to be friendly with each other, like each other. So those are, some things to think about. And then how do you think you're going to go about getting new clients? There's several different things and not one single way is correct. Okay. It comes back down to your personality, who you think your ideal client is, and how you're going to connect with them and how you're going to grow that relationship. For me, I'm a techie. I like tech stuff. As you can see, I like websites. I've been on social media since the beginning and all of that stuff. I like marketing that way. I like the digital marketing stuff. So I need to connect with clients that are doing the same thing. Because if I like doing all of that, I want to market that way, and my clients aren't on Facebook or aren't on Twitter, it's not a good thing, right? It's really like, what's the point? So you need those two to match up so that you are finding your ideal client out there. Networking, totally normal, totally, the traditional thing to do is to go to networking events, join organizations around you. There's local networking groups like BNIs and stuff like that where people send referrals to each other. You can ask old colleagues, other people, referral sources, maybe lawyers, maybe CPAs. All of that depends on everything that you're building, right? And you just want to keep on making sure you're asking yourself the question, does this make sense? Is this common sense for what I'm building? So, you don't want to provide tax services and then look to CPAs for referrals. I'm just, those sorts of things. You want to make sure everything kind of works together in this whole picture. Because then you're just holding yourself back if you are kind of putting these roadblocks up in front of yourself. We have enough out there. Don't do them to yourself. So social media, are you going to use social media to get clients? That's what I did. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's the same sort of thing as networking. It's just you're doing it virtually instead of in person. And so you just try to find connections, try to find your ideal clients who can connect you with those clients, and how can you build relationships with them. And remember, guys, that when you're doing this kind of marketing, you have to wait for the client to need you, right? So you might have a connection with someone, but they might have a bookkeeper already, and it might take 6-9 months for them to be like, hey, you know what? I don't like what I have right now. I'm going to look for someone new. And I've been talking to you for this whole time, so I'd like to give you a shot, So it might not be the fastest way to get things, but it's a good way. It happens, right? There's also direct mail that people do. If you can get lists of people that have just started their business, gotten a business license somewhere, you can send out letters to them. You could just send out postcards that you're offering something to get people to call you. Now, know that your hit rate isn't going to be great, but the question with all of this is like, you're sending out your feelers to, 1,000 people and you get 3 or 4 leads. Well, how much revenue are those 3 or 4 leads going to get you? I mean, it could get you a lot. So it's a question of like, how much are you going to invest in the marketing? How much do you want to get back? And test things out. You don't have to go all in on something. I always end up testing things. Might not be the best scenario. Like I might send out 100 emails to someone, to like a group of people, and see if I get any feedback from them. And if I do, then that's a good thing. If it's good feedback. If it's not, then I'll stop. Just try to think of different ways you can connect with people. Next is education. What do you know and what don't you know right now? And that's why I did this training course is starting in January of, if you know bookkeeping, but you don't know QBO, I can help you with that. So it's a matter of really understanding what you know now and how are you going to get over any hurdles to answer things that you don't know. And here's the other thing. You don't have to know everything, because it goes back to what services are you going to provide? What are you going to do? Don't overtrain yourself before you have clients, because you know how all these training things, they're scenario based, and you watch people do different demos and all that stuff, but it's different when you get into the product. If it's QBO, an app, or anything, I just wouldn't over educate yourself in case you end up with a client that needs something else and you really need to go spend time on that app, or whatever it is. It just comes up that way. I know. So for me, I got certified in desktop first. We didn't even have the online certification yet. And actually, it was a client that pushed me to QBO. So because all the research I had done, it was everyone online hated QBO at that point in time. But again, I know accounting and I've used other accounting systems before. It's just a matter of knowing what I need to know in the accounting system to do what I need to do. So once I had that client and was in QBO, it was fine. I was like, this is not a bad program. I actually pretty much like this, and was able to navigate and do all what I needed to do in there. But see how I didn't go down the road of all of this desktop training, getting advanced, getting all this sort of stuff. I went, kind of stayed at that top level, didn't know enough. And then really it was more experience that I got working on that client. Yeah. So what do you need to know? Because there's a difference between what you don't know and what you need to know. And think about those two and really focus on, what is going to be the next best step for you in your development of your practice. So we're kind of doing all of these things at once when we're starting out, and we're networking and stuff, but while we're waiting for clients to come in, we're educating ourselves, we're setting things up and all of that. So it's all this cycle. And then once you get a client, then you're kind of busy and it's not as much time to do education and stuff. So you're kind of growing, and then you have to be more selective of what you're going to do with education and what you're going to do with new clients and all this. So it's this ever evolving thing that you need to keep on adapting to as it grows. Know that Intuit has, the Pro Advisor training. You can get basic and advanced certified in QuickBooks Online for free. They have online training. They have some in-person training stuff. All of that you can find on Intuit's website. Just search, Intuit Pro Advisor program, and you're going to get to like all of that fun stuff. There's some stuff you have to pay for, but most of it you don't. Then, there's groups like mine where I provide training courses, and but I also provide free stuff within the Facebook group, provide support, answer questions. We all answer each other's questions and help each other out within the group and stuff. So look for Facebook groups. Mine's one of many hundreds, so find one or many and listen and pay attention to them and see which ones you want to really be active in. And then I say a lot. And then, learning from apps. You can get certifications from other apps, but again, you want to make sure you're not over-educating yourself in the beginning. Don't do it to the point where you're avoiding marketing, because we know it's uncomfortable. We want to balance out all of that time so that you're still able to continue to grow. Then my last area is administrative junk. You want to know what your business structure should be. Talk to a tax preparer and talk to a lawyer. They both have different perspectives on this, and they can advise you as to the benefits of either, all the different options, and then make your choice. I honestly still tell people, businesses that are starting out, to do that. Yes, I can tell them to do whatever, but you have to appreciate the fact that lawyers went to law school, accountants, a lot of them went to, accounting school or have an accounting education, or bookkeepers have some sort of bookkeeping education, right? We were taught different things. So there's different things that we need to look out for. I don't know the legal side of stuff. I honestly still really don't know the tax side of stuff now, because it's been so many years removed from my tax classes. So, but I know that there are people that are up to date in both areas and can tell you the benefits and the cons of both things. I don't like the concept of just go to your tax preparer for that, because there are legal implications. Back to the almost sneezing. I'm such a mess. Anyway. Okay, get your EIN, obviously, from the IRS. Do any state registrations that are necessary. Get a local business license, or look up and see if you need one. I know that is something when I was starting out, I was still like other people that were also starting out around me. I was talking to them like, what about a business license stuff? And they're like, oh no, you don't need one. But if you really start researching it and looking it up, yeah, in my area, you need a business license. And actually, if you didn't do it in certain places, you get this huge fine once they found out that you're around. So yeah, look for that business license if you can. Get some sort of engagement letter template. With the Pro Advisor program, at some level, because they kind of redid things, you can get some of their templates for free. It's a great starting point. That might not be where you want to end up. Depends on how much risk you want to take on, and how scared you are that people might sue you in the end, because people will threaten to sue you at some point in time in your practice, and how are you going to handle that? So again, with that engagement letter, it might also be a good time to have a lawyer. You don't have to pay him to be like on call or anything like that. Just have that connection, have someone you're comfortable with in case something comes up, and you can get those answers. So they can help you review an engagement letter and see if it's a good fit for you and your practice. They can help you set up your business. All of those sorts of things comes back to what's your budget and what are you going to invest in first. We all do weird things on how we get started. Okay. So back to no one right thing is the right answer. It's just a matter of reality and how we're going to balance paying for all of this. And then also consider malpractice insurance. It's usually fairly cheap. So again, if anything does happen, you have some sort of insurance to protect you so that you don't completely go out of business. But here's the question. It's like, how big is your business and how much could someone really take from you? So again, legal structure, certain legal structures, they can come back to you personally if someone wants to sue you. So this is where it helps to talk to a lawyer. So you want to make sure you're doing all of that stuff right. And the more you know, the more you can advise your clients on. And you can also refer your clients to your lawyer and have, start getting this circle of influencers within each other that like, hey, I have someone you need to talk to over here. I have someone about this and that sort of thing. And hopefully you become that person for the accounting side of stuff or whatever you're going to do for clients. So that pretty much sums up my guide on starting a QBO practice. So to recap, the top level topics were imagine your practice. What's it going to look like? What do you kind of, want it to be? Let's think about some of the nuts and bolts on there. And remember, it's okay that it changes because it's going to evolve and adapt over time. Technology. What technology are you going to have? Oh, I probably should have been in like computers and stuff in there. Like what computers are you going to have? Website, email, all of that sort of stuff. What are you going to do? Marketing. How are you going to attract clients? Is that through networking? Is that through some sort of marketing technique? What is your idea of getting out there and making those connections? Education. What do you need to know to make yourself ready to deal with clients when they come in? And what resources are you going to use to help you grow when you get clients, before you get clients, when you get clients, and keep on going. And then all the administrative junk, make sure you get all the legal stuff in place, the tax stuff in place, all of that fun, wonderful stuff. Because once you have that there, you're not worrying about it. And we know when we're starting a practice, we're just going to worry about everything. So give me, let's take away some of the worry of things. Like that's handled, that's dealt with. We got that out of the way, whatever. So that will make you feel a little bit more comfortable in the world. The more you have a little bit like taken away from you on different worries. So that's what I got for today. Didn't really have many questions. So I hope you got some good advice, some ideas off of this. But that's what I think on starting a QBO practice. So thank you guys for your time today. I will not see you next week because it's Christmas, or the week after for New Year's. But the week after that, I will see you guys, which is also, I think, the first day of that intro course, January 8th. So it's either 8th or 9th because I have two courses starting. One's the 8th, one's the 9th, and I can't keep which one's which right now in my head. Anyway. Bye. Like my hat. It's crazy. I love QuickBooks. So I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys around. Feel free to, ask any other questions within the Facebook group. We're here for you. So thanks.